The air at the festival was thick with the scent of boiling sugar. Dona, Luna, Fern, Vamp, and Lily pushed through the crowd, finding Strawberry behind a wall of copper pots. Steam hissed from the burners, and jars were stacked in precarious towers. Strawberry wiped her brow, gesturing to the overflowing fruit crates. The team moved without a word. Lily took the ladle, stirring the bubbling mixture, while Fern and Luna cleared the cooling racks. Dona and Vamp organized the crates, mashing berries and sealing jars with rhythmic, practiced efficiency. By the time the final stall was stocked, the music had reached a fever pitch. A scrap of parchment caught the light on a nearby notice board. They pulled it free. It depicted a glowing, legendary golden strawberry hidden deep within a forbidden cavern. The sweetness of the festival suddenly felt trivial. They exchanged glances, the noise of the crowd fading into the background. The map pointed toward the dark woods, and the choice was made. They packed their gear, abandoned the music, and stepped away from the light of the stalls, turning toward the edge of the forest. The music died behind them as they crossed the tree line. The forest was an immediate shift in temperature, the air cooling and turning stagnant. They navigated by the faint trail of seeds, a winding, broken path that forced them to climb over rotting logs and push through dense, tangled brush. Hours passed in silence, each step pulling them further from the light. Then, the ground leveled out. Before them stood a jagged, stone structure, half buried in the earth. The entrance was a vertical scar in the rock. They stopped, drew their weapons, and the metal hummed with sudden, sharp energy. They stepped inside. The transition was violent. Shadows detached from the ceiling and walls, coalescing into shifting, jagged shapes. Dona lunged first, her blade cutting through the darkness with a hiss. Vamp followed, her staff glowing as she forced back the encroaching wall of shadow. They fought in sync, clearing a path through the suffocating mass. Every swing of a weapon sent shards of shadow scattering across the floor. They pushed deeper, step by step, until the monsters thinned, and the heavy, oppressive air of the inner sanctum began to press against them. The inner sanctum opened wide, a vast chamber carved from ancient, lightless stone. The air was dry and tasted of ozone. Donna stepped forward, her boots scraping against the uneven floor. Suddenly, the ground beneath them buckled. A deep, grinding sound vibrated through the soles of their feet, shaking the very foundations of the room. Ahead, a massive pile of rubble began to shift. Thick, interlocking vines and rusted steel beams groaned as they twisted together, rising upward toward the jagged ceiling. Stone slabs fell away, revealing a colossal form taking shape. It was a construct of pure, relentless architecture. It stood fully upright, its head scraping the vaulted roof of the cavern. The team stood frozen. The sheer scale of the Guardian blocked all light, casting a heavy, suffocating shadow over them. It did not speak. It did not move yet. It simply occupied the space, a towering monolith of steel and vegetation that made the room feel suddenly, impossibly small. Every weapon in the group's hands felt like a needle against a mountain. They stood paralyzed, breath hitching in their chests, staring up at the shifting joints of the machine as it prepared to strike. The Guardian raised a massive, vine-wrapped limb, ready to crush the floor beneath them. Suddenly, the ceiling groaned and cracked. A jagged drill bit punched through the stone, scattering debris across the sanctum. Bacon Brutus, Rags, Doro, and Crustfang plummeted through the hole, landing amidst the dust and scattered rock. Vamp did not hesitate. She slammed her staff into the ground and shouted the command for the long-forgotten fusion spell. A blinding, swirling vortex of light erupted in the center of the chamber. Rags, Doro, and Crustfang sprinted into the radiance, their forms overlapping and fusing into a single, towering entity. Crustfang surged to the center, locking into place as the armored core, while Doro and Rags stretched out to form massive, crushing limbs. The Titan Crust-Rag Fang roared, a sound of grinding metal, and charged. The team swarmed the Guardian, distracting its heavy, sluggish limbs with rapid strikes. The Titan saw its opening. It drove a fist powered by pure force into the Guardian's chest. The impact echoed like a thunderclap. The construct buckled, its steel frame snapping under the pressure. The walls shook, Stone slabs plummeted from the ceiling, and the Guardian collapsed into a heap of useless debris. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light, piercing the shattered ceiling. Where the Guardian had stood, only twisted metal and scattered vines remained. Dona stepped over a pile of broken stone, her eyes locking onto the center of the sanctum. There, resting on a pedestal of smoothed quartz, sat the golden strawberry. Its surface pulsed with a soft, rhythmic hum that seemed to calm the very air of the chamber. She reached out, carefully lifting the fruit, and motioned for the others to follow. They emerged from the dungeon and found Strawberry waiting near the edge of the woods, her hands still stained from the jam pots. Donna pressed the fruit into her palms. Strawberry looked at the golden prize for a long, silent moment. She took a single, deliberate bite. The reaction was instantaneous. A brilliant, blinding light erupted from her skin, washing over the forest floor and turning the shadows to gold. The radiance intensified, forcing everyone to shield their eyes as the light coalesced into a solid, shimmering aura. When the glow finally dimmed, she stood tall, her presence radiating a new, commanding energy. She had evolved. The golden strawberry X stood before them, a beacon of power that silenced the wind and stilled the trees in a moment of absolute, quiet triumph.